Greetings once again to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video is being seen and shared. It's Celine Driver again. I've got another review for you from, not from my collection this time. This is one of the watches that I was able to get from a fellow collector that I thought was very interesting, not something you see a lot of, and just really a beautiful watch, and I wanted to borrow it so that I could share it on the channel. Since there's been a lot of complaints about how I ramble on and multiple minutes before you see the watch, we'll just suspend that for now so people don't start bitching at me. You may recognize the logo. This is a Rolex. This is an older Rolex. This I don't know if it qualifies as vintage yet, but it does date from 1991. And without further ado, ta-da! Oh, she's a beauty. This is one of the infamous or famous or infamous, depending on your viewpoint, Submariners. This is obviously not a black Submariner in a stainless steel case, but this is a real life Submariner. And before anyone questions, I did pull the bracelet. There is the serial number under here. There is the model number under here. It matches with the paperwork here, which I won't open other than to show that this is a certificate, an official chronometer certification from Rolex. This is the Rolex's certificate of authenticity. It does have the style number, which matches the watch. It does have the serial number that matches the watch. This is a real Rolex Submariner. So if you think it's a fake, it ain't. This is the real deal. This is a beautiful, beautiful watch. Does not get worn very much. As you can see, there's no sign of pardon me, desktop diving on the back of the clasp. The sides are in great shape. The links are solid and beautifully polished. Although this watch is a smudge monster, so I have a little cloth here to occasionally give it a wipe, since I want to take very good care of this watch. Beautiful watch. As you can see, it is an 18 karat gold watch, and they don't have weight-o-vision yet, but if you could feel the weight of this thing, you would feel that this is every bit of the 18 karat gold material because of the weight of the watch. It is in beautiful, beautiful shape. Again, I don't know if 1991 constitutes vintage, but let's see, 8 to 2001, 2000, so 28 years old. Come on, click. There you go. 28 years old. If my math is right, 29, 28, yeah. So I don't know. In the state I live in, they consider cars to be classics at 25, vintage at sometime later than that. So I don't know what constitutes a vintage watch, but almost 30 years old. I'm going to say it's a vintage watch, a vintage-ish. Beautiful. Indices are as bright and shiny as they ever were. You have the famous Cyclops over the date window of the beautiful dome. Well, I don't know if you call that a dome or not, but sapphire crystal. Solid case back as you would expect out of a Rolex. Just an exquisite watch. I think one of the most expensive watches I've ever held in my hand, except for maybe that Ulysses Nardine Sonata in the 18 karat white gold one I reviewed in a previous video. Go check that one out. I went on to Gray & Sons and Chrono 24 and Bob's Watches and European Watch Company, and these watches and the 18 karat white gold Sonatas are about the same cost. So definitely first or second most expensive watch I've ever held in these gnarly hands, but I just love it. I mean, beautiful watch. And of course I have my stat sheet here for you, so you can geek out a little bit. This is a Rolex Submariner. Reference is 16618, or style number as they refer to it on the certificate of authenticity. The serial number, according to Bob's Rolex website, when I plug it in, shows a 1991 production. The certificate of authenticity shows an early 1992 purchase. So either way you want to go with that. It is an 18 karat yellow gold case and 18 karat yellow gold bracelet. It uses the famous Rolex 3135 movement, 31 jewels. Very accurate, very smooth, as you can see, the second hand sweeping. It is a manual hand wind. It is hackable, as you can see. Buttery smooth crown, movement sign crown, as you can see. 3-position crown, obviously. Position number 1 here is the wind. Position 2 is the date adjust, and position 3 is the time adjust. You can see the seals in the crown. When it's screwed down properly, it is, as the face says, good to 300 meters, 30 atmospheres, 1,000 feet. However you want to measure it, it is, or it can be, a solid dive watch. Although if you're going to take this expensive a watch scuba diving, you're either very rich or very crazy, my opinion. 40 millimeter diameter, 12.5 millimeter thick, as I said, the aforementioned sapphire crystal. It is chronometer certified, according to the certificate of authenticity. It is also says so on the face. It is officially certified, so it meets all those standards for chronometer certification. Let's see what else we got here. Champagne Surdy dial. Surdy dial basically means that you have these kind of indices, these shapes and everything. The indicators at the 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 10, 11 are diamond. They are real diamonds. The indices at the 12, 6, and 9 positions are blue sapphire, which happens to be my favorite precious stone, even though it's not my birthstone, but I love blue sapphire. I think it's the best looking gemstone out there, even surpassing diamond for me. And it is a blue enamel bezel insert. The bezel action is a bit stiff on this one. It doesn't get moved very often. It is actually, I can feel it loosening a bit as I turn it, but only a bit. It doesn't get worn or used much. So I think it's sometime in the near future that bezel needs to come off and get cleaned. But everything lines up perfectly. There's almost no play. In fact, there is no play in this bezel. I think it needs to come off and get cleaned. I know that this watch was serviced about 10 years ago. It's probably due for another service, according to the paperwork in the box. So it is due for another service. I'll mention it to the owner to consider it. Service on these things is usually in the $600-700 range. Small price to pay to make sure that the watch functions as it should. Just a beautiful watch. I thought that you all on the channel would be very interested in seeing a watch of this caliber. I mean, we all know that Rolexes are fantastic watches. They can be a tool watch if you want them to be, especially the stainless steel ones. I'm not sure I would classify a solid 18 karat yellow or white gold watch to be a tool watch. I mean, unless unless your income is measured in 9 or 10 digits, or even 8 digits. This is, to me, a special occasion watch. This is the watch you wear once in a while. You take good care of it, and it will be a generational piece. I certainly hope it will be for the owner of this watch. I hope he makes it a generational piece. I don't think there are plans to sell it. In fact, he was very reluctant to loan it to me for the review because it is that nice a watch. But I promised him I'd take good care of it. I was allowed to size the watch since I've proven in the past that I know what I'm doing. So I was allowed to size the watch so I could wear it. And as you can see, after removing a link and playing with a micro adjuster, which on this thing is kind of a goofy one, it fits beautifully on my 7¼ inch wrist. As you know, I wear my watches up a bit, so the crown does obviously not interfere with my wrist, and the lug overhang is just beautifully done right there, and it fits very well. Maybe a bit tight, but the micro adjuster on this thing is crazy. I mean, there is a diver extension. You can see that the micro adjuster is all the way out here, but when you fold in the dive extension and click it into place like that, you can see that now it's halfway up the clasp. So you need to be correct on how many links you remove, because that goofy micro, I mean, this really is kind of a strange micro adjuster to me. I guess that's the way they did it back in 1991, but as you can see, that's the way it is. And come on, click back in. Come on, you're making me look bad. There you go. Anyway, but even despite the strange micro adjuster, it fits very well. Double fold clasp, as you can see, very secure, not going anywhere. Anyway, I just thought you'd like to take a walk with me on the ritzy side today, and enjoy seeing a very, very nice, very expensive, very well put together, and in my opinion, very beautiful Rolex on the channel. And I'll just wrap the video with that. If you like the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. All I ask is that you keep it clean and civil. Uncivil, insulting will be blocked and deleted. Got no time for that. If you're not already a subscriber, please go ahead and click the subscribe button for me. Click the bell icon too, so that when I make new videos, you'll be alerted. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed making it, and I'm going to enjoy wearing it. So I will see you next time.